This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com, and I was asked by the What a Rush podcast, which was Road Warrior Animal's old podcast, to talk a little bit about my dealings with Animal over the years, because they're going to put out one last special episode of the podcast soon with wrestlers discussing Animal. So I'm just putting it up here on YouTube so they can take the audio off of it. I first met Animal, I believe it was in December 2002, a Jacques Rougeau professional wrestling show where they used both Animal and Hawk against two of his students who they just squashed, and then they came back and wrestled Jacques and Pierre on the next show. Always had good dealings with Animal backstage. I saw him backstage numerous times, both when I was an extra for WWE, when he was teaming with Heidenreich in those days. He even was in Puerto Rico when I was in Puerto Rico doing an appearance for some Russian company that was going to run there. They never ended up running, but they did some co-promotion with IWA. But anytime I met him backstage, he was always very nice. Then dealing with him as a promoter, we did use him in Great North Wrestling in, I believe it was 2015, where he was a special guest referee for one of my matches. He did all the publicity I asked him to going into that event. And the event had over 1,000 fans in attendance in Brockville, Ontario. Done several shoot interviews with him. The latest one was in 2020, just about 3 months ago. It was an online interview during the pandemic. I also did 3 or 4, I guess you could call them convention interviews with Animal over the years. And some wrestlers don't do convention interviews because they don't like doing anything for free, such as Jerry Saggs, for example. He's turned me down for a convention interview, and there's others that have, but he's the first that pops into my mind because he was at the same convention recently that Animal was at, that Animal did an interview with me for, and he never rushed through those. He was always pleasure to speak with. I even saw Animal at a PCW Ultra event he appeared at in recent years, and it was always his pleasure to do an interview with me. He gave me advice over the years, just here and there through text messages and Facebook messages. The last time I actually had communication with him was last Friday. So he passed away, I think, very late Tuesday night, I believe. So it was only shortly before that where I had communication with him. And it actually makes me sad because this is why I was really upset. He called me and I did not make it to the phone in time to take his call. And I ended up only responding to the question he had for me through text messaging. So I'm just like kicking myself that I didn't make it to the damn phone in time to take his call, because he was always in shape. He didn't appear to have any personal demons. He didn't appear to be unhealthy at all. So I didn't think, oh, this might be the last time I ever talked to him. I better just call him back, because when I did call him back, I didn't get to him, and then we just responded through text. So that was kind of upsetting to find out that only a few days later he would pass away. I'll say some of the fan comments on here. James Smith says, Animal was one of the greatest. Matt Demas says, R.I.P. Jungle Climber 2 says, oh, what a rush! In my very sad Animal impression. Real Cookie Bear YT says, R.I.P. Road Warrior Animal. J.K. Swanson says, the best tag team ever. I agree. There is no tag team in my book that will even compare to the Road Warriors. I've seen them live, by the way, many times. My first memory of the Road Warriors, as I've stated before, is on that AWA Best of the Road Warriors DVD, where I believe they're in Hammond, Indiana, and a riot occurs in a match where they end up bloodying up Kurt Hennig. So that was like my first taste of the Road Warriors. And at that time, I had rented that movie. I've since owned it. But that was like the most real thing I'd ever seen in wrestling, because at that time, I had only really seen WWE. And here I am seeing the audience actually attacking wrestlers, and Hawk and Animal are just destroying the audience. It was crazy. And Tennessee Tim says best tag team of all time. None of them compare. Seen them live many, many times. Great tag team. God bless Road Warrior Animal. I'll be honest, I don't believe in a heaven. I don't know what happens when you pass away, but I don't believe in a heaven type of situation. But I hope that whatever happens, that his spirit lives on, and God bless him. Thank you for all the entertainment. Thank you for being a positive mentor. You're one of the pro wrestlers that didn't disappoint me when I met you. You not only lived up to my expectations, but you exceeded it. You were a good role model, good father, good man. You have all of my respect. And I really was an honor to, I would say, consider myself a friend of yours. Really appreciate everything you've done for me.